Well, welcome into the Hey Techies show. So glad to have everyone with us. And Bruce and I are trying to throw ourselves in here tonight.
We're one man short.
We're one major man short.
Yes.
He does so much. And of course, we're short the guru tonight. And it is quite the shame. At least for me, I hate that he's not here, but he is out doing something that the guru enjoys doing. And that's always good. And he needed time off and had some things to do. And actually, sadly, he's going to be gone next week, too, from my understanding.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's supposed to be high and dry next week. He's going to be out of town. He had a little bit of out of town stuff he had to do. But we're so glad you're with us tonight, the Hey Techies Show. You can go to heytechiesshow.com and find all the links to get to us, questions at Hey Techies Show. You also can call
256-782-5600.
If I remember how to answer the phone.
That is a good point.
Because Guru always did that, so we'll just have to wing it. You said, well, you guys are techies. You're supposed to be able to figure anything out. And that's true. Probably could with enough time. But I rely heavily on the Guru for do so many things. So it's been a busy week, as it always is. Yes. Definitely tech. And I'll be honest with you, I've been so busy work-related things, I didn't even get to see the new Google products when it came live. Normally, I try to watch events like that, but it slipped through my radar. Shame.
Well, it was on your radar. You just didn't have time, right?
I don't know if it was on my radar or not, to be quite honest with you, Bruce. But anyway, so how are you doing this evening?
Wonderful. But just like you, I missed the live announcement, had to kind of just watch snippets of what they said and, look at spec sheets and pictures and people that got their hands on the phone, giving their little reviews. And, also hearing, reading headlines of people saying the confirmation of no headphone jack means Apple got it right. And I don't think that's necessarily true. I think that just means
Apple got it right, huh?
Two people may have got it wrong.
I'm not sure if I like this chair.
Oh, man.
It's really falling apart now. Yeah, two people may have got it wrong. Yeah, that's yet to be seen.
I'm not excited about the headphones.
You're not excited about the headphones.
I mean, now I've got to go buy new headphones if I,
Well, they're all.
Well, I mean, I can use the adapter, right? But then I got to carry that around with me everywhere.
But
I'll just put it in with my headphones.
You're supposed to be wireless. You're supposed to be Bluetooth. You're supposed to get the new
whatever
Google headsets.
Give me a credit on that.
Yeah.
Let me trade in
and we're going to dig into that later. And
the new Google headset.
Yeah, we're going to dig
into. Were those really marketed for audio listening, or was it more marketed
here
for...
Again, you're talking to a person that did not see. So I am.
Of course, if you want to tell us about
that's
your
right.
thoughts
256-782-5600.
Yes.
And you want to tell us about it. I've got a quick personal thing I would like to talk about real quick. It won't take long, maybe because of the first of the show. Maybe some people will be listening. But anyway, you never know. Some people might tune out. They get busy. I know some people that listen occasionally. They can tune in when they can.
Yeah.
And they don't tune in for the whole show. So you never know. It's a hit and a miss. But my dad, Pastor Sanders, is celebrating this weekend is our pastor appreciation at church.
Yeah.
But he's actually celebrating 50 years of pastoral ministry.
Oh, wow.
He turned 67 this year, and the age of 17, he was preaching. At 16, he was teaching Sunday school. And he's had a long career of spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ around his world. Even as far as California, when I was young, that's where we lived, and
that explains a lot.
Yeah, well, actually, I didn't know it very well. I was 2.5 years old, between 2 and 2.5, because my brother was born 2.5 years later in San Dimas, California, and we went out there to be with my Uncle Ray. That's where my dad was starting churches. It started young, but anyway, we're going to be celebrating that Sunday, and I think actually my Uncle Ray, who is a minister as well as my father, will be here with us. So there's going to be some family. So this will be a good time. But that's at Good News Assembly of God this Sunday, and so I just want to throw that there. I'm very proud of my father, and I'm, as I told him the other day, and I don't know if I've mentioned this. Some people may find this a little odd, but I understand the comment. I've told him several times that, Dad, I won the parent lottery. I really feel that way because you don't. If you're half intelligent, you don't pick your parents. You're born to them. Whoever that you got.
Yeah.
Whether you like them or not, or whether
vice versa.
And vice versa. That's true. That's true. That's no question about that. The personalities are who they are. But I really, and actually because my mom passed away and then we got a stepmother, Christina, and she's a wonderful person. So really I won the parent lottery twice in a way.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that your parents aren't great or anybody else listening to the show. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you how I feel about mine.
Just yours are better.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
that's what I heard.
Yeah, right. That's what he said. He said. I heard him. He said, his parents
2, 5,
are
6,
better.
7, 8, 2, 50, 600.
Right. And you can complain to Michael about saying his parents are better. No, I'm not saying that. But I am proud of my father and happy to be his son. And so we'll be celebrating that. But I just want to throw that out there. 50 years is a long time to do anything. But being a pastor for 50 years, approximately 50 years, there's a lot of listening that you have to do in 50 years. It's almost like being a counselor for that long. Can imagine, listening all the time. So anyway, well, there's a lot in tech, and we're going to cover that, like I said. And I'm kind of at a loss. I'm going to have to get my
I was going to say
my show clock over here in front of me. I didn't put it on this laptop. I'm so out of sorts. I'm used to sitting in that chair.
Well, I'm out of sorts too.
I'm sure you are, right. He's got a mic he likes better. He's so out of sorts he can't stand himself.
Well, I had to move because I realized the camera was.
We got to have you. Yeah, you are. We'll have to fix that. I'm way too much into it. Yeah, that is a good point. We got to get Bruce. Well, I thought you were going to. I tell you what it was.
You thought
I thought you was going to sit there, and that's what I.
I'll swap there.
No, that's not a big deal.
Because I'm having to turn towards you anyway. So.
Oh my. Just
But anyways, a lot of stuff this week in
yes. Apparently, even some stuff breaking today, and of course that's not new. But the NSA, another leak of some type, but the NSA or someone supposedly got
Kaspersky related,
and Kaspersky related, and we if we know much about that, we'll see what our opinions are there. And I do want to talk a little bit about, as I said before, the massacre, the terrible massacre that happened out in Las Vegas. Sorry, I was Nevada, Las Vegas, and I mean, unless you've been living under a rock or you are off the grid and have no contact with society at all, you should have at least heard a little bit about this. Yes. I mean, you can't, one of these things happen. It's days we have to hear about it. Even if you don't want, I'm just saying, I'm not saying they shouldn't cover it. I'm saying it's just weeks that we'll be talking about this for weeks. I'm not saying you shouldn't.
Well, it was an extraordinary event.
It is. I don't disagree with that. It's just, it will never get off the TV longer to cover anything else. It just consumes it. So, and of course, every time they come back from break, and I'm not making fun, I'm talking about the news media. So don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It's their breaking news headline and their song that they play every time they come back from break. And
it's like it's not breaking anymore.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Unless you've got some,
I guess, but still, anyway, it's the media. They're going to do what they do. Okay. That's what they're supposed to do.
Well, I don't know.
They do what they do.
That's what they have decided they're doing.
Yeah, I guess so. So anyway, well, when we come back, we will move on from our really short break, and
I'll be in a different chair.
Bruce claims he's going to be in a different chair, so we shall see if that holds true. Hey, Techies Show. Be right back. Welcome back to the Hey Techies show. Michael Bruce, and not the guru, but now the guru is still a part of the show, just not here this evening, and we certainly miss him.
And we get to understand how major of a part he is.
Yes, that's always true.
Yeah, it's
Bruce.
like when he's not here, we know.
Yes, that's true. We certainly do.
And are you going to do any of his segments this go around?
We're going to have to find out.
Yeah,
we're just going to have to see.
My
goodness, this mic needs greasing and everything else.
Well, that's the reason why I was liking
yours.
yours.
This is crazy. I can't get it to do diddly squat to what I want.
You're in a different spot.
Okay. All right. This is going to be like really one-to-one.
One-to-one.
Yeah.
We could do this without headphones.
Yeah, probably could. No doubt. I will never see this. If you call, good luck. I mean, I would be great, but we're never going to see it. That's the problem. Oh my goodness.
So let's start with all the Google stuff, right?
Sure.
And so they had a lot of products. I mean, I guess as many as you'd expect come out, right?
Right.
So the major ones to me are the phones. Maybe other people were looking for other things, but so you got the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL. And a lot of the rumors that we've talked about were true. You know, the smaller one was made by HTC, the larger one by LG. But one thing that we weren't sure of, and we were talking about this before the show, we knew it was going to have the squeeze on the HTC version because, I mean, HTC invented that.
Sure.
But the LG phone got it too. And I think that really speaks to what Google was saying was we designed these phones. Yeah, they're manufacturing them, but we designed these phones.
Right.
So it's not like we just took a phone that was already out there and tweaked the little things and then slapped her name on it.
No.
It was kind of like, even though I felt like with this phone, they kind of did that. But I can see with the two that.
But now is HTC the maker of this one too? Is that right? Or the Pixel 2
of the Pixel 2, but they're the manufacturer,
right?
And
the
LG is the manufacturer of the Pixel 2 XL,
right? Oh, okay, that's right. That's right.
And the squeeze is a HTC thing.
That's right. Okay,
which I guess is now a Google thing.
Yeah.
Which I'm still not clear on that whole acquisition. Did they just buy the people? And how can a company just sell their people?
I guess you could sell whatever is your asset.
Well, I mean, is an employee an asset? Because they could just be like, oh, I'm not working for Google. Bye.
Well, they could.
Yeah. And then what?
But they probably want to keep a job.
But then what did Google buy? You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I see what you're saying.
But anyways, beyond that, so some of the good things about these phones is, and they're man, of course their job is to go after Apple, right?
Oh yeah.
So they really pointed out that as far as all the features of the phone, especially with the camera,
right?
They did not save anything better for the more expensive version.
I got you. I see what you're saying. I see where you're going with this.
So you're getting the exact same phone
for either one, except one has a bigger screen.
Yeah, one's got a bigger, better screen, I would say. Right.
Oh, a better battery life. It has a bigger battery.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a bigger phone.
Correct.
So it's really,
and it has the squeeze, right?
Yes, it has a squeeze. Right. That's what we're saying.
The XL.
The rumors we didn't know. That was one of the uncertainties, but we're like, that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to do one and not the other. So feature wise, they're the same. Spec wise, they're a little different.
Yeah.
But the camera on both of them, front and back, exactly the same. Same software, same hardware.
Right.
So your big hardware differences are in the screen and the battery, and that's. I think they both have the same processor. I think I'm right about that. Pretty sure.
Don't they have the Snapdragon 895 something? Oh, come on, Michael. What was it called?
Why don't you remember that?
I know it is a Snapdragon though. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 835. I was close. This is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835. I think they both do. Yeah. So 12.2 pixels on the front, front 8 pixels. Megapixels.
Yeah.
Forgive me for shortening it, okay? And then, of course, the memory, we got 4 gigs of RAM minimum it starts out at. And I think it goes up to 16. No. That was storage. I apologize. that you know what I'm getting confused. I apologize. One of their other products, 4 gigs of RAM is it. I was thinking of the Pixel Book. Yeah.
So
storage 64 and 128.
Yeah, 64 128, which is interesting. That I guess Apple's done that too. I mean, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to their phones. That's Scooter's job. But I'll say this, and I said this last week. The processor that Apple has, far superior.
Yeah.
Far superior.
Oh, yeah.
But now how they've determined this, I do not know, especially since it was just released. Well, not even released, but debuted yesterday. The camera scored higher.
Yeah,
I don't buy a whole lot into that. Now, will I say, is it better than the current Pixel?
Let's
Sure.
hope so.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
But from what we watched the video, it seems like a lot of it's on the software end. It would appear that they've done some.
Yeah, a lot of it is software, but there are different physical things to the camera.
Right.
And one thing we were listening to is that basically the dual pixel, like whereas normally you'd get a screen of one pixel, or a picture of one set of pixels.
Yes.
It's like overlapping.
Yeah, you're getting dual set of
pixels, and that's how it's able to use that software
to
to change the focus and change portrait mode and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting with all the changes they've made on the software. The phone itself will get, and to me they're trying to do it better than they've done it in the past, but they're still not meeting Apple, right?
Okay. All right.
But that's on the OS updates.
Yes.
They guarantee OS updates for 3 years and security updates for 3 years. The first Pixel was guaranteed OS updates for 2 years and security updates for 3 years.
Yeah.
To me, that's not long enough. Granted, 3 years is about as long as anybody's going to keep a phone.
Right. Well, I'm
almost anybody's going to keep a phone.
I'm on the verge there.
Are you really?
Oh yeah.
I would say after 3 years, like people are like, all right, I can't do anything with this thing. And I would say I don't have an iPhone, but what I have read is if you have an iPhone that's not an 8,
right,
and you have updated, you're gonna want a new phone because 11's killing it. Like 11 is killing your phone. But
side note here, that always happens. I mean, when there's a new OS, they always have 1 or 2 bugs, and it usually ends up being battery life. I mean, and then they have to put out a patch, and then they fix it. It's
a part of it.
It's a wheel. And it's a constant wheel. We're all beta testers now.
Well, and what's funny is it's always been, this is our newest, most best phone yet. And it's like, well, duh. It's like, it's the way technology works.
Yeah, really, and that's how it should be.
But they're kind of getting a name of this is our buggiest iOS yet.
This is the buggiest OS yet. Yeah.
Each new version.
That is a good point.
More bugs than we had last time. More things to fix. More, because and they're trying to pack so much more, and they're putting deadlines on themselves, and not saying let's just push it off 6 more months.
Right.
Like let's not hint at dates. But it creates all this, I don't know, hysteria. It's marketing, right?
Well, you know what? Well, yeah. One thing I'll note on, I was trying to get my thoughts there, but one thing I'll note on is that how much we end up knowing about these products before they come out now.
And
it didn't used to be. Well, yeah, but it didn't used to really be that way. There was a lot. There was a lot we didn't know about.
Yeah, there was a lot we didn't know, but and I'll give credit to Apple on this. They're the ones that invented all this.
Yeah.
Here's a leak.
Yeah, it's definitely
it's
on purpose.
They leak that on purpose. Now sometimes let's be honest. Sometimes
I don't think they like their names to be leaked though. I don't think they do that on purpose. I think that's a misnomer. The name, what they're going to name the device. They pride themselves on releasing it that day in a big party and a big explanation and all the stuff they do.
Yeah, so. I will say all of. And the whole debut of this stuff now it's just, I'm like, look, it's a new product.
Right.
Like I wish somebody would come out and just be real. Like, this is what it is. This is what it does. Like, we're not saying this is such a great thing.
But I think part of that problem is people tend to not buy I mean, the way consumers are now, it's like we got to see the frills.
Oh yeah,
we
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want that unless I'm not saying me. I'm talking about a generalization of.
Well, I feel like when it comes to technology,
Yes.
that the consumer is getting smarter, and I'm sure people that sell technology are like, no, they're not. But it's to me, it was kind of like the whole argument with I had an argument. I actually had a bet, and I'm not a bet man, so this should say a lot. Back when it was HD versus Blu-ray,
right?
And I was 9 years younger than the person I was having an argument with, and they were like, "No, this is gonna be the same thing with VHS versus Betamax." And they were like, "Betamax was better," and I was like, "Yeah, it was better. It looked 10 times better."
Right.
But VHS went out.
Right.
He's like, "It's gonna be the same thing." I said, "No, it's not." And there's, I guess, research that shows whatever the porn industry.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever they pick up on, that's what wins.
I know.
But I wasn't buying into that. I was like, I think the consumer's smarter, that they're not just going to go with HD being, well, HD DVD, HD TV, like those are the same.
Yeah.
I was like, they're going to realize Blu-ray holds more. I can get more features out of it. Like there's more here. There's more technology here. I was like, I think the regular consumer sees that.
Right.
And we had a little gentleman's bet, and I won.
Yeah, clearly.
Clearly.
So,
and it was, I was like, I think your consumer pays more attention to the technology behind something now.
Yeah.
So, I don't think, all this parade is needed as much anymore.
Well,
and it just seems, I don't know, it just seems so fake. Even when Apple does it, it's like, okay, I can pretty much write your script for you. I know what you're going to say.
So they've got, in the Pixel 2, they've got just black.
Yeah.
Clearly white. Kind of blue. Yeah. Kind of blue. And then in the Pixel XL, they have Darth Vader black. And apparently, as we found out, Bruce and I, Stormtrooper black and white. Apparently, that is sold out right now. Is my understanding.
Well, the pre-order is done. Which, let me check on the.
And we were just joking. That's not really the names. It's just black and white. Although I don't know about those names, but anyway, that's original.
Well, how about that?
What?
It's not. Apparently, it was just for Pixel, or not Pixel, but Project Fi.
Oh,
so
I kind of thought it was a little early for being sold out, but you never know.
Kind of what we're getting at is, so they have a trade-in program.
Yeah,
and I went ahead and pre-ordered.
Yeah, Bruce.
And on Project Fi, the black and white is, in which I'm kind of glad I didn't really want a white phone. So I just went with just the black.
Right.
64 gig, because right now I'm doing 32 and it was fine. And that was the thing, like the amount of money they were giving me back on this phone, I was like, this is a no-brainer. Like, I'm paying, I'm after this month's bill, I will basically be paying $50 to trade in a phone.
Cool.
So I was
that's good.
Yeah, I was like, why not? And I've complained
yes, you
about
have.
the speaker on this phone. I was like, I hate that and the only reason why I got this phone is because my daughter broke.
Yes, I know.
My daughter broke my
Nexus
6P. Yes. And it was, it was the whole thing of like, whenever I had signed up for Project Fi, they were like, we don't have insurance yet, but this is what the insurance program is going to be.
And it never really was.
Well, it wasn't. Whenever it came out, I was like, no, this is the same thing that's on Verizon.
Right.
I was like, this is stupid. Right. This is not what was promised. I was like, I'm not getting it. Well, they have since then, like, they've corrected that.
Oh, okay.
I pay $5 a month for insurance now
with
this phone. Like, I don't know if it was because that's what Google was originally planning and they let Huawei do the phone, but when they brought it all in house, they were like, okay, we can do this for $5
right
now.
So
But yeah, I mean, they went through Assurion, and that's what it all was.
But it looks like if you go on other carriers, they still have pretty much all the choices.
Yes, they do have all the choices.
It does have Oreo, as you would expect.
Yes, does
Android
have
Oreo 8.0.0.
And you will get,
dangerous,
like we said, 3 years of OS updates.
Right.
But you will also get, we've said this in the past, which I don't know how you fit, and there's tons of stuff you can do. Actually, I encourage you. I went through today. Occasionally, I go through my Google account and do my security checks.
Yeah, right.
And they also have a separate privacy check now, and there's a whole lot of stuff you can do in there. I encourage you to go do those things. Do them regularly. That's a hard word to say on the air. But go in there and do that. So I went through and I made sure all my privacy settings were what I wanted them to be.
Sure.
Ended up changing a few things because, I mean, Google forces you to have Google Plus. I don't want Google Plus. I don't do social media, so I made sure to turn all that off. Of the very few things that were left,
right?
There wasn't a whole lot. You just basically knew I was a guy. What I'm getting at is the Google Photos app. You get unlimited photo backup, right? But it is at a high quality.
That's correct. Not original quality.
So if you purchase any of the new Pixel line, you get original quality unlimited backup.
Wow.
Till the end of 2020.
2020.
Which by then you'll have a new phone, right? And they'll probably extend that. But then after that, you get unlimited high quality. And I will say this with Google, like, you may end up getting it through longer than 2020, but don't think you're flying under the radar, because one day they're going to shut it off.
Yeah, that's for
and
sure.
You're going to be like, what do I do with all this data?
Yeah.
So anything that was earmarked in that program won't count against your storage.
Right.
But I was just like, I've had this forever, and
you've just noticed. Huh?
Yeah, and you've just noticed, and now I've got to figure out what to do with all this data, or I can't even get, I couldn't even get.
Right.
I couldn't get emails. I wouldn't have been able to get emails if I wouldn't have went and cleared it messed up my day for sure.
It does have USB-C.
Oh yeah. Does have that's one thing we need to talk about. Does not have
a headphone jack.
Yeah. And it does not have wireless charging. Yeah. Well, that's a good point. I was gonna get to that. Now obviously that doesn't make a deal breaker, because it's not a deal breaker.
But it is interesting.
It is and it's cheaper than,
it is cheap.
Less expensive.
It makes it less expensive, the cost wise. Yes. Absolutely.
But
do you wonder if they had some way of finding out?
They did not poll me.
No, I know that, but I wonder if they either had to do one of two things. They either had to poll or get some idea, social media wise, how many people were actually enjoying wireless charging, or they just took a shot in the dark and said, well, it's less expensive. We're going to cut our bottom line here to make a profit on this.
I don't know. That's a really good question.
I saw something related to this, by the way, that just came into the fertile brain here in my head.
Yeah.
Samsung is going to make more profit off of the OLED screens than they will make profit off some of their phones.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you think about that for a second?
Well, so Apple's going to have to do something. They've already done it with their processor, right? They brought all that back in-house.
Right. But Samsung is like the biggest maker of screens. I mean, you build a phone, you're going to find somebody on the corner selling screens, and their name is Samsung with a sign.
Yeah, it's like, we're it.
Right, we're it. I mean, literally.
So I guess how many years does it take before Apple does something about that? Are they just fine with it?
Well, but what would be an incentive? I mean, I guess cost cutting, but even then,
cost cutting, and then they can dictate.
Yeah, but they already
they can maybe raise the bar, right? They can make a better screen.
Yeah, but how can you say that? Well, I didn't say they couldn't. I shouldn't say that. It's going to be based off of some technology that
they'll purchase.
I know that's what I was getting at. That they purchase.
What company do they buy?
Right.
That
What company do they
this?
buy that already does this? What apps do they purchase?
Yeah.
What apps do they destroy by including that in their OS? I mean, that's sort of how that goes. So yeah, I don't know. That'll be interesting. But the wireless charging thing was not, or the non-wireless charging was not a big surprise to me. I don't think the overall choices that you could get a phone have even decided to go in that route. Like most phones do not have wireless charging.
Yeah.
This is a rare thing. Now, obviously, Apple included it in their products, which is, interesting. How will people say, oh, I really enjoy it? Some people who don't keep up with this, who are only in the Apple universe, are probably going to think Apple came up with wireless charging.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they will.
Nobody's had this.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I can just set my phone here. But actually, some wireless charging was actually not built into phones. There was that power. I had one. It was a case that went on it, and you could just set it on the pad, and it would charge the device through the case that you had on it.
And
power mat or something.
That's the thing too, is that and they market those bigs for Apple. I mean, those are big on iPhones.
Yeah.
So people are going to know. Some people, right?
Yeah, some people. Yeah. Oh, well, I don't care. I didn't bring it. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna lose sleep over it or anything. It's just interesting to me how.
Oh, there's so many things.
Oh yeah.
That Apple does. I'm like, welcome.
Yeah, I know you did it last week.
Yes.
Welcome to 2014.
Yeah.
I heard you say that. I don't know how many. Welcome to 2010.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
But man,
poor Guru, what he has to put up with.
I pre-ordered the XL2.
Yes.
So I'm excited that I'm going to get my front facing speakers back, and I'm going to get my bigger screen back, because I did downsize with what was supposed to be the large version of the phone. I'm pretty sure the 6P had a 6-inch screen and dual front facing speakers.
Right.
And the Pixel 2 XL is 6 with some. I'm getting some of those features back that I missed.
Yeah, right.
Which I'm kind of curious how that's going to fit in my car. Didn't think about that, and I'm going to test that.
It's 6.2 inches tall, and it's 3 inches wide. The XL.
Yeah. It's got Bluetooth 5, I think.
I believe it does.
And an 18-watt charging, which I want to say 18-watt charging has been around for a while.
Yeah, and it also
Active Edge is
Active Edge. We talked about the larger battery, but just to give you some clarification, if you didn't hear us, the Pixel 2 has a 2700 milliamp, and the Pixel 2 XL will have a 3520 milliamp, so 3520 milliamp. It claims up to 7 hours of go with 15 minutes of charging. And I guess that's based on the actual charger that they send with you.
Yeah.
And then, of course, your results are vary, based off of how much you talk, the data you use, the usability of it.
So they also came out with a few new products.
Yes, they did.
Really kind of more just augmented of what they already had. So they had the Google Home. They came out with the Google Home Mini,
right,
which I would say is like the Echo Dot, and who else came out with something else? It seems like everybody's got this, right? It's all the same stuff with a different cover.
Yeah.
But they came out with the Google Home Max. I'm kind of curious how that's good. I'm kind of curious what the reviews are going to be on that. Like, how does that compare to Sonos? How does that compare to Bose? How does that compare to
Google Home Max?
Yeah. How does the Google Home Max compare to other high end? Because I want to say it was kind of expensive. $400.
Yes.
I was like, the Google Pixel Book you talked about, Google Clips, which is just a camera that you sit and it will take photos of faces it recognizes.
I just don't. I'm sorry. I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again. Yeah. I don't get these devices. I guess
them I don't.
I mean, just like I don't get the show. the Amazon show. I don't get that. I mean, yeah, maybe it had one
Amazon
feature. Yeah,
show.
the one where you sat up and
Oh, yes,
you were,
yes.
we.
Well, I'll say this: the watches. Whenever Android first started coming out with watches, we were like,
I agree. I
it's
agree.
like I can
admit.
kind of. You were like, we can kind of see some utility in that.
I did. I admit, and I would hate to be without mine.
Yeah,
I enjoy it a
yeah,
lot, but then again, I didn't buy real. Well, I didn't actually buy it; it was a gift, so I can't really say.
yeah,
But the point is, I agree with you. That's true.
yeah.
Early on,
And it's gotten better,
some people will find this Google Clips something they like,
but it might be a
a
bust.
feature that they like. I'm sure the Amazon show, because it has the word Amazon plastered on it,
Yeah.
someone will enjoy and buy and, oh, this is cool. My point is, here again, I haven't read all of this Google Clips, but just from looking at it, it looks like to me, just looking at it, that there's something that already does this. That's my point. I have a device that's similar that might do this with an app. Maybe.
So part of what Google Clips does, and I've not delved deep into this either, but to kind of give you an idea of what it does, is you just set it somewhere, and then it recognizes, hey, you're playing with your kid.
Right.
I'm gonna take a picture of that, and then when you get ready, you say, all right, upload these to
it captures
Google
your
Photos.
life.
Yeah,
I get it.
Life. Yeah. Now the Google Pixel Buds. This was really neat. I did watch a clip of, and I'm this is staged.
Sure.
Let's be honest.
Let's be honest. Yeah.
It is staged as it can be. I'll say this: whenever they were showing the Active Edge, when the lady came out to show it, I will say they swapped seamlessly to her phone, like it was casting.
Right.
And she was nervous and had bumped, and it was like the screen was up in configuration mode. And she had to like calm herself, like, let me go back to the home screen and now press it. So I mean, all this is like very, very as controlled as it can get without it being false advertisement.
Right.
But the speed of which translation was happening was very interesting, because basically, she pressed it, said what she needed to say. I will say this: they could have done a better job, since people were watching this online to feed that audio of what the assistant was saying out into the web, and not just in speakers in the room.
I see. Okay.
Like, what did it say? I know that it said something.
Okay.
But then the guy would speak to her, and then they fed the audio of that. You could actually hear what she was hearing.
Right.
Which was in her native language, which was really neat. So some Hitchhiker fans will be like Babelfish, but
I missed that. I missed that.
Hitchhiker's Guide.
Oh, I've heard it. Yes, I do know the film. Yes, I've never seen them, but yes.
You've never seen the movie?
No, I never have.
I've never read the book.
No, I haven't, Bruce. I'm very sorry.
You'll have to watch it. I've not. I mean, it's a cult classic, right? But so the Google Pixel Buds. The only thing I guess, like I said, I only saw snippets of it. But are they regular headphones? I'm sure they are, but are they great? We'll discover more.
They might be great. I don't know. Hey, Techies Show. Be right back.
Little miss can't be wrong. There we go.
Welcome back to the Hey Techies show. A little bit
spin doctor spin it.
Yeah, a little bit of Little Miss Can't Be Wrong there as we come back from the break, and hope you're having a great evening. Don't forget 256-782-5600. And you can try to be on the Hey Techies show.
Can't promise we'll answer.
If someone will answer, and if my eye catches it over here. So
anyway, without the guru. So
that's okay.
Makes it difficult. So back to the Pixel Buds. So yes, they are regular headphones. I'm kind of curious about the audio because they're $150. But you do get to it's got the simple touch to bring up the assistant and audio control. So we were talking that as far as who all gets to use that, you do have to have a Android
Google Assistant
and requires assistant enabled Android device to use the Google Assistant to do the translation and stuff. So at $160, I'm kind of curious, like how's the audio quality on it? And
we'll have to find somebody that has to get us some. I can't get them right now. Ooh. I would actually like to have them if I knew that they were fairly good quality. I mean, that would be neat to have something like that. My problem is, let's see, does this
and one thing
staying in my ears? I have a real problem with these top earbuds staying in my ears.
Yes. Now, if they come with like an adapter that can loop behind,
that's the best kind for me.
So one thing with this, and it looks like, and I could be wrong,
it looks like it loops with the cord or something on this thing. It's neat how it's got how it's set up to take resistance off the cord.
Yeah. So these are wireless headphones.
Correct. Right. Bluetooth.
But people are like, well, there's a wire, but I don't think that's an actual wire. I think it's just a rope.
I'm sorry. I did say the wrong thing. It's a rope to keep them together.
Yeah, I don't
totally misspoke.
And that's what I was saying. I could be wrong.
I think you're right. You're absolutely right. I don't think that has anything. No.
And I think that was like one of people's biggest complaints about the EarPods. What did Apple call their?
Yeah,
it's like the first things that came out for them. The accessory was basically a cord to keep them together, so you don't lose them.
Well, from what I can tell in this superimposed picture here, it is basically like a cord that looks similar to the old time
shoestring.
Yeah, almost like a shoestring, but old time connections that would hold on your glasses. Those old, years ago, where you put those little things and had the fiber type cord on your glasses, sunglasses, or so you could, but that's what it looks like to me.
It comes with a charging case that apparently has a battery in it.
Yes, that's correct, and actually that's just like the Apple product. As far as that is, and I understand that gives 24 hours of charging.
Yeah, but 5 hours at a time, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're right. They last, from what I tell, you get it charged and they last for approximately 5 hours.
Yeah, I'd be interested in to see how that works together. And they're sending me one of the what are they called?
I don't know. What are they called?
The Google Home Mini.
Yes, the Google Home.
I would much rather have credit towards the headphones.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I don't know. But so we talked about, they came out with the Google Pixel Book with the Pixel Book Pen.
Oh, hey, look here. I just noticed something. Yeah. For a phone to access the Google Assistant, you have to have Android 6.0 or higher.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. So, I mean, that's pretty reasonable.
Hey,
right?
You have to have Android 5.0 or higher.
5.1 isn't.
It says 5.0 a lollipop or higher
to even use
them. Yeah. And boy, I'm close on that one. The one I've got.
Are you really?
Oh yeah, it's 5.1.
Oh wow.
iOS 10. Oh, you can use them on iOS, by the way, which I figured you could.
Well, I will be curious. Are the headphones any count? Are they are they high quality?
Right. The thing about that is you can read all the tech specs you want to, But until you really listen to something, you just don't know.
And honestly, even with phones, like
right.
until you hold the phone,
right.
you don't know.
You don't know, right? How they feel in your, and especially a headset phone because in your ear. I mean, it's uncomfortable. All those things apply.
And the only reason why I'm comfortable buying that phone is because I know what the 6P was like. I know what the Pixel was like. And
exactly.
To me, it's going to be a mesh of both of them.
Yeah.
Which I was fine with.
Yeah.
So, because I know somebody else that has the exact same phone I do, and they're like, this is getting on the edge of too big for me. Like, they're like, I don't like this big of a phone.
Okay.
They're like, if this phone were to get bigger, I wouldn't want it.
Right.
So if they were going to get a new one, they would get the Pixel,
the
and
Pixel,
not
the XL. Right.
Yeah, they would get the 2. God, we gotta clarify that because it's like Pixel's
Pixel
been out
2.
For,
I'm sorry, the Pixel 2.
Yeah.
XL,
they would get the 2, instead of the XL
because
they're like a 6-inch screen's way too big.
Yeah. You know, the problem, and I agree with Guru on this, the only problem with that is the battery life you're going to get with the bigger phone. You're going to get almost 1,000 milliamps.
Yeah, but it's going to trade off because of the size of the screen. Right?
Yeah, but it can't be that much trade off.
I don't know. Let me look and see what the screen size. Okay, so the screen size of the 6P was 5.7 inches, I think.
So this one's 0.3 bigger than that. Diagonally, is that diagonal?
Yeah, diagonally.
Yeah. So this is 0.3 larger than that.
The Pixel first one XL was 5.5. So it's amazing what 0.2 inches. I was like, this is such a smaller phone.
Yeah.
But
well, you know, I think part of it was the bezel, wasn't it? It wasn't a little bit. No, we looked at that. We compared a thing. Didn't we compare the bezels? I should
have brought both of the phones.
It seems like we compared the bezels and they were pretty close.
Yeah, they
actually.
They were.
Now that I think about that.
But part of it too was the dual front facing speakers.
Right. That was it.
Space.
Yeah, that was it.
But I feel like, well, we could probably just look this up and see what the size of the 6P versus the 2XL is as far as the whole phone, because they've stretched that screen out.
Right.
The speakers are just like, that's it. That's all that's there.
Right.
That's all it's got room for, that and a camera.
Right.
So, and another thing, I'm not sure if I like the direction they're going. We'll see when I get it. And I think other phones have had this for a while, but that curved edge on the screen, instead of it being rectangular and clear edges, I'm not sure what that's going to do when you watch a video. Like, the video is not made to be rounded on the end. Like, you're going to be missing something. Granted, there's nothing.
I don't think so.
There's nothing ever there. You know what I'm saying? It's not like,
oh, look at that on the edge. I've been missing that for years.
Yes, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I wish they would make up their mind. Are we rounding everything, or are we?
You know, speaking of that, one time my wife and I, the lovely Miss Fran, got in a disagreement. I don't want to call it an argument, but sort of a disagreement about Letterbox. She hates watching anything in Letterbox. She hates the bars. She thinks she's missing something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. See, you're not. That's the point. You're actually seeing everything. Well, to her, that's backwards.
Yeah.
And I understand that.
Yes.
I do.
But I would say with TV now, like the aspect ratio of TVs, the letterbox, it does get rid of the black, and you're getting the whole thing.
If you're doing HD, or if you're actually seeing it, because I know people may not know this. If you've ever noticed, if you're watching an HD channel and you see bars on the side, black bars on commercials, it means that commercial is not shot for HD, and that's why they have those bars on the sides. ESPN, you see it a lot on their channel for some reason. But anyway, so this will be interesting to see about the Pixel Buds, the Google Pixel Buds. And of course, once Bruce gets his phone, certainly have a review here on the Hey Techies show.
How about this? Bellroy has cases.
Oh, there you go.
For the phone.
Well, of course.
And and I'll say, if you're in the market for a wallet, I have loved my Bellroy wallet.
Bellroy wallet,
yes. A little expensive.
Oh, yeah.
But my wallet sure lasts a whole lot longer than a freaking purse. And it was a lot cheaper.
Oh, my goodness.
I think that's one of those things, like, a man's going to carry the exact same wallet for a decade, probably.
Yeah.
Spend a little money on it.
Right.
Something that's high quality. So at the end of it, it's not just like, I've got to get a new one because
Right.
this one is
Crumbling.
So I'm trying to think how long I've had mine. It's been at least 3 years, I think. It's a high quality.
The guru must be listening. Thanks,
Yes.
Guru. He's talking too much Google and no Apple. Actually, Guru, you may have missed the Apple. You probably didn't want to hear our discussion of it, but
Yeah.
the Guru listening. Thanks, man. He had something to do tonight, so
It's nothing important.
yes, it is. Guru does a lot of important stuff, and he's a busy man. He's been so busy. He and I really haven't had a chance to talk of late, so. I missed it. Just oh gracious. Well, we're not doing as good as you on this console, although I know about the console, but you have been so much better at it. So and had so many over 2. We're working on 3 years here. We're passing our 2-year mark, obviously, and we're treading on towards year 3 of the Hey Techies show. And man, this is episode 111.
Oh, how about
that we're on today. So glad to have so many with you. Now, of all these, so we got the Google Pixel 2, the Google Home Mini, the Google Home Max, and of course we haven't talked about the Google Pixel Book. We haven't really mentioned it much. And then there's the Daydream View. Now, isn't this their this isn't new necessarily. They've had one of these, right? This is something that they've talked about for a while. It seems like the last when they debuted Oreo, they talked about this product here, but I guess it's the release of it.
Yeah. I mean, they've had the Daydream for a while.
This is the one now that looks cloth. It looks like it's surrounded. It's
well, you got to remember originally when we covered this, it was a different type of cloth, right?
Right,
and it was.
That's right.
A lot of vibrant colors.
That's right.
So they've updated this to have better speakers, better lenses. Actually, is made to work with the new Pixel line. Has vents to let off heat, because I mean you're maxing out your phone when you do a lot of this stuff. Which is where one of Apple's processors would probably come in, like, this is what we can do with this.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't see myself buying a Daydream. Like if somebody had one, I would put my phone in it and maybe download something and see what it's like. But I just don't see spending the money on it. It's not for me.
Yeah. Well, you know me. I'm not going to spend a dime on it. Yeah. I don't want to carry a trash can around with me and not be able to drive my car.
Now, if I flew a lot and I had Netflix and stuff, and like I could always stream stuff like that, or download and watch, I think it'd be neat to just on the plane, pop that thing in and just let the world fade away.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Well, we're getting ready for hour number
dose.
So stay with us. Hey Techie Show. What'd you do? You put it in queue?
NPR News in Washington, I'm Janine Herbst. The National Rifle Association is calling for additional regulations on so-called bump stocks. It's a device that boosts the rate of fire of a semi-automatic rifle to function like a fully automatic rifle. The shooter in the Las Vegas massacre had several in his possession when he opened fire last weekend, killing 58 people and wounding almost 500 others before turning the gun on himself. The group is asking the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives to review it to determine whether it complies with federal law. And gun dealers and retailers are now backing away from the bump stock devices. North Country Public Radio's Brian Mann reports the devices are vanishing from catalogs and store shelves.
Walmart, Cabela's, and many of the big online gun dealers suspended sales of bump stocks this week. Their websites give error messages or say those products are permanently out of stock. Some manufacturers have temporarily suspended sales, and some gun dealers who say they normally back broad gun rights seemed unwilling to defend the devices. Art Netherton runs a gun shop here in Las Vegas.
If to get the libs and the dims a win, banning bump stocks, that's fine. It's not that important.
Some news organizations reported a surge in sales of bump stocks after Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein introduced legislation that would ban the devices. NPR has found no evidence that gun owners are racing to buy the kits. Brian Mann, NPR News, Las Vegas.
Meanwhile, Clark County Fire Chief Greg Castle is praising his team for their performance at the music event that night in Las Vegas. He says there was a standby crew of around 16 EMS paramedic personnel and that they performed wonderfully.
Our training paid off. Our training paid off because we knew what to do. It was much grander than we ever envisioned. However, we were able to handle it.
And he says they were prepared because Las Vegas is an international tourist destination, and he says it has many soft targets. Tropical storm Nate is expected to intensify to a hurricane and hit the northern Gulf Coast this weekend. NPR's Debbie Elliott reports preparations are underway from South Louisiana to the Florida Panhandle.
New Orleans is staging boats and high water vehicles and handing out sandbags to residents in advance of Nate, which is expected to strike as a hurricane on Sunday. Mayor Mitch Landrieu has declared an emergency.
To the citizens of New Orleans, there is no reason to panic, but there is reason to prepare. We just need to be ready for heavy wind and heavy rain.
The Louisiana National Guard will be in New Orleans to watch for problems with the city's drainage pumps, which are not operating at full capacity. In nearby St. Bernard Parish, mandatory evacuations are underway for people who live outside the levee protection system. Debbie Elliott, NPR News, Orange Beach, Alabama.
Asia markets are trading higher at this hour. The Nikkei, the main market in Japan, is up about 0.25%. Asia Dow is also trading higher. This is NPR News from Washington.
Welcome back to our
Dose
of the Hey Techie Show. So glad to have all of you in with us tonight, and hope that you're all doing well this evening. Bruce and I are here.
Missing the guru.
And the guru has been texting us, so he's doing well. He did not fall off the planet, so that's good news for the guru. So anyway, but so glad to have you in, 256-782-5600. And you can be on the Hey Techie Show if my eye catches this little light here on line 6. You can be on the Hey Techie Show, and we'll put you through. So we were talking, if you missed it, in the first hour of
Google's releases.
Yes, Google's releases. We talked about that. And of course, we're going to move on to a few other things. We want to talk about Roku, and we've got a few other things to talk about.
So what all they come out with?
I'll be honest with you. I just sort of perused it a little bit. And
you're the one telling me. You're
I
like,
know
hey,
I did.
Did you see all Roku's new products? I hadn't heard about them.
I know I did.
I know they have a streaming stick that's 4K.
Yes.
And then they've got their Ultra that's, kind of the box that everybody has now. That's, kind of the, I guess, Apple TV sized device that's your premium. But I think it's nice that you can get 4K in a stick now and not have to buy a smart TV for it. You can add it on for $70.
Okay.
To me, that's not bad.
They say that they've got new products, and they're going to range from $30 to $100. So the Roku Express, priced at $30. And they're wanting to say they're targeting cord cutters with this. That's supposedly. What I didn't quite understand in the article, and I haven't been out to the website, I'm trying to figure out and was ascertaining how this connected. I guess it's HDMI, I would assume, but I don't see.
What, the Express?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's HDMI.
Okay. Well,
instead of plugging in to the side where it's like a dongle that you plug a HDMI cable in and run it to your TV.
Okay.
So it's separated. I don't think it comes with a remote, so you have to use you have to use an app.
Well, it shows
or does it come with a remote?
It shows a remote. See, that's the thing. This article is terrible on pictures.
Yeah.
They have put pictures with things.
Maybe it does come with a remote. I could totally be wrong on that.
Well, it shows a remote, but who knows? The remotes look the same to me between the streaming stick, the Roku streaming stick plus.
Well, there's one that has
which is $70
come with it.
Yeah, that's the actual. That one is the actual Roku. That's the big one. They're high end.
Ultra.
Yeah, they're high end mark. They're higher end product. That one's $100, according to this.
But the streaming stick plus
that's
and
the Roku.
Ultra both do 4K at 60 frames.
That's correct. They both do 4K at 60 frames, which is cool. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, and it has, of course, the streaming stick, not the Express or the Express Plus, but the streaming stick, Stick Plus, and Ultra are AC compatible, and the rest are BGN.
AC, wow.
Yeah, your Ultra has gaming buttons, so I guess that's where you
right.
That's kind of why you would buy that one. That's the difference maker, I guess. That and the remote finder.
Apparently, you can get a $10 Voodoo credit. Good through the 31st if you buy one of these products.
How much? $10?
$10 Voodoo credit toward a rental.
A movie.
Yeah, right. Well, then I giving away like a year subscription. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never had a Roku, but I know lots of people, and obviously Bruce, you enjoy them, and lots of people I know that's their favorite streaming product.
So far, it's mine.
Right.
I've
said that on the show before.
I've tried them all, even Apple TV.
Yeah, right.
I didn't own one, but I definitely used one for a while. And it's been a while since I've had one. I mean, I guess I had one. I mean, it was in my home for a while, and I just, at the time, it just didn't fit me. And it also didn't fit my ecosystem.
Yeah.
If you're all Apple, it makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And what have we said about any product?
We have, right.
Whatever gets the job done.
Whatever gets the job done.
We're even though Guru's all Apple, and it seems like I'm against everything Apple. We really, it's whatever gets the job done.
Right.
We just got to play that
if it
makes sense for you.
If it makes sense for you and it makes it smooth, if I can understand. I've got this product and I got this product and I got this product and I mean, you were just talking before we got back off the break. Somebody pointed out that Google doesn't make a watch, although they make a watch OS, and that's not the name of it. It's Android Wear.
Yeah.
But
they don't have the app in the store apparently anymore. I don't know if that's true, but apparently it's not there because they don't have when they owned Motorola, that was kind of their watch. But now it's, they don't have a buy Google watch. So they're not going to market it.
Right.
They're going to make it because, it's still an Android thing and it brings more value to their product.
Right.
But what are you laughing about?
I'm laughing at the Guru.
Okay.
He says Bruce is don't be what do you say? Bruce is anti-Apple. Don't let him fool you.
Oh, whatever. I've said on the phone.
Yeah,
on the phone. I have said on the air that if I were going to swap to a carrier,
sure,
I would probably get an iPhone. I probably would.
I know we talked about that.
It would be very difficult, but I could probably do it.
Yeah. But Project Fi is treating you so well.
Yeah, I would say. And apparently they had a service interruption. Had no clue.
No clue that they had
they're giving me
give $10 credit on top of that. Look at there.
So they're just like, hey, we're sorry that you may have had issues. I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't say anything in the news about this.
I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah. So I logged into my account today and was like, hey, you're receiving, which is great because basically it will even out because I left my VPN on all the freaking time and I forgot to turn it off and I used an extra gig of data.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to balance out.
Yeah. That'll do it to you.
Yep. Because it was just constantly connected. And I thought, man, I forgot. So like a whole week because I was traveling.
Right.
And I just turned it on because I was going to be in a place that
Right.
I wanted it on, and just forgot to turn it off, and it never occurred to me, because whenever I got to another point where I picked up my phone, I was like, oh yeah, I do want my VP on right now. That's great. It's already on. So it all worked out.
Great
I guess.
grief. You guess.
Yeah. So thanks for the interruption.
Sure.
You saved me from myself.
I saved you from yourself.
Yeah. So I will say that is one thing about, we've talked about private VPNs
Right.
on the show, and
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I've specifically endorsed it, or if Guru and I've even mentioned the name of who we use, because he uses the same product. But just on your mobile device, be aware that the entire time it's connected, it's passing data. It's got to keep that connection alive.
Right. Exactly.
So
right.
some communication is happening, meaning some data is being used. So yeah,
that's true. Of course, we didn't really talk much about the new Pixel book. They have a new Pixel book. It is a Chromebook. And just to sort of wrap this up here, I think the thing to note here is
it's expensive.
It's expensive. It does have a pen. It has a responsive pen.
But does it come with it, or is that separate?
Probably separate.
I think it's separate.
I would say it doesn't come with it.
I would say that's the only thing that Microsoft's got right, is they include it, right? With the Surface book?
With the new ones, yeah. But when the original came out, they didn't.
Did they not?
No, the original Surface, it was extra.
Yeah.
Not the Pro. Later on they did, but it was extra, yeah. This thing is very, very thin. And it has I want to say 3 different ways. 4 ways to use it. It's bendable. It bends back over itself. It has all-day battery life, it claims.
I'm sure that's reasonable.
I mean, you would think with the OSs that it runs would have to. The screen looks really, really nice, but the deal is, I mean, you can make one that's like $1,000.
Yeah, and I would say part of this price increase, which I think it's setting a dangerous bar.
Yeah,
it's saying, hey, we'll pay this. So, but right now, flash storage is expensive.
It is,
and it's going to come down eventually. And there's going to be more margin there, because they're not going to come down on the price.
Right.
They're going to keep the price the same.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it's got Kaby Lake, Intel Core, i5, and then you can do an i7. That your top of the line right now, it looks to be about $1,649, and that would get you 512 of storage, 16 gigs of RAM. That's where I was getting my 16 gigs in earlier. And then you can go down. They have a 128 gig storage and a 256. And so, and as I said, and these are fanless. Now, Bruce thought that was no big deal. I guess it's not in the grand scheme of things, but I kind of thought it odd myself that they don't have any fans. But I guess with no moving parts, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, your phone doesn't have a fan.
No, that's true. That is true. Of course, it also doesn't have an i7 processor either.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the new iPhones.
Now, some phones
they basically do.
Some phones about a year ago needed a fan and an extinguisher as well. So there is that, Bruce, and you never know. It could just catch on fire. It could just what do you see? Instantly combustible, I guess.
Yeah, some have burned and cause some issues.
That's true. Well, the Hey Techie Show has to take a little break here, but we shall be right back, and with some more music too. Welcome back to the Hey Techies Show.
I'm totally dictating the music tonight. We'll come back and I'm like, oh, let this play for a while. So if you picked out the music, Mikey, you did a great job so far.
Well, who else would have picked it out?
That's true.
I mean, come on,
Guru did it before he left.
No, let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Sure. You know, a while back I said one day I'm going to come in and I'm going to pick it. But then we got away from using this system and Guru controlled it all.
Yeah, that's true.
Of course,
he's doing a good job.
He is doing a great job, but I'm sure if I just sent him the songs, if I said, here's the lineup I want tonight, he'd be like, all right, we'll go with that.
Yeah, he would.
So I just need to do that one night.
Yeah, that's true. He would throw it in there for you.
I wonder if he would screen it.
I would want to screen it. I don't know about him. I trust you. I trust you.
Just not my taste in music.
No, well, we probably don't have the exact same taste. You like some things that I probably don't.
Absolutely.
Hey, real quickly, wanted to just here we go. Cheatwood. I mean, Mr. Guru here getting after me here, apparently. What do you want, Guru? What are you asking about now?
He said yes.
I would screen it. Well, there you go. There you go, Guru. Now, listen, I wanted to.
Yes, we need to get serious for a moment.
Well, no.
Serious discussion.
What was that?
This mic. That's why I hate it.
Good grief. So before we get to that, I wanted to bring something to everybody's attention.
Oh, okay.
Not that some people are not going to care, but there has been this discussion that Firefox was eventually going to be off older devices, and apparently they're saying now June 2018. June 2018 is expected to date to Mozilla, pardon me, end all Firefox support for XP and Vista. I mean, really? Chrome already did that.
Yeah.
Almost a year ago, they ended for Vista. It may have been more than that actually now, but Firefox has held on, sort of, I guess maybe in one sense, to give those still using Vista an option for a secure browser.
Yeah.
And that, that's not a bad thing necessarily, because Vista.
And I would say they if they'll stick with 7 for a while, they will have a big market share.
That is true. Right? That is true. Yeah. And I think they will do that. I don't think they're dumping 7. Vista, I can totally understand. It's not supported by Microsoft anymore. It's really not getting security updates for the most part. And so it really does need to be sort of dumped, if you will, on that, in that framework there. But I agree. And so I'm a big Firefox fan. I got to I downloaded the beta of their latest, what they've done, the Quantum. I'm actually enjoying it. It's fast. It is a resource hog, I will admit, but it is fast, and I've been using it a little bit. It's still in beta, and so you don't have a lot of extensions for it right now. Some plugins that don't support it. I told Bruce before the show, and we talked a little bit early on when we opened the show about the Las Vegas massacre and tragedy, the terrible thing that happened over there. And I think ad nauseum, everything that is going to be said is probably already been said in one framework or another. Yeah. But what we would like to do for the next couple of minutes here, just a few minutes, I asked Bruce, I said, I've heard people mention, and I haven't listened to everything, obviously, but I've heard the ones I've heard talk about, even seen some things on social media about what they could have done different. Could there be a technology that would have foreseen this in that way? Or rather, could there have been a technology that would have caught this before it happened? Now, I tend to be on the side of a different argument. Would you want a technology like that?
That's what you're asking. Would you want
a technology like that?
And all that comes with it.
And all that comes with it, if it could even promise to do that. I mean, I don't believe that it could promise to do that. I think in instances like this, people are going to, for whatever weird reason, even if they're not insane, you could say an insanity defense if you wanted to, but let's say that's not the case. They're going to do what they're going to do. They've got a mindset for whatever reason. I don't know what cameras and those type technologies could catch on this particular individual. Now, it's true. Let's say you had a most wanted. Bruce and I talked about this. An FBI's most wanted picture everywhere.
Yeah.
Facial recognition, you mentioned it.
Yes, I was like, he walked into casino. If you walk into a casino, they're already doing facial recognition.
Correct.
Before you walk in, they are doing facial recognition on you.
And if you're a criminal or you are suspected of criminal activity, they are going to know.
Yes, they invest a lot of money in surveillance because they're there. But we said this before the show. They're there to protect their assets.
Yeah, you said that.
They're not there to protect your life.
No,
you're not an asset.
Right.
Their money,
right,
is what they're there to protect.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing all the way around is sad. We're not discussing that part of it, but what we're just specifically pointing out is, or rather, I am. Yeah. I was just asking the question: how much of our lives are we willing to give up? I mean, we've given up a lot. Somebody mentioned.
Well, I wouldn't say we've given up any. Well,
somewhat. I mean, if you fly, you've given up some sense of time. You lot more time.
Let me say this, and this is really sad. I would say in order to give up, there had to be a fight to begin with.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. I'm sorry.
And we never fought.
There hasn't been a fight. That's true. Not from that standpoint.
I feel like there should have been.
Not in a really long time, anyway.
Yeah.
And I see what you're saying there. That's a good point.
I'm kind of the person that's standing here like, are we really doing this?
Yeah. I mean,
but I think a lot of people are.
And if you want to look at it from this standpoint, yes. I even had this question. Yeah. I mean, the guy supposedly, and I don't know if this is right, so don't quote me on it. It was multiple bags he brought in. Yes. They're saying over a period of time, which seems like to me that would be a flag.
But would it?
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think I might be wrong about that. But would it? But would you bring that in over? Normally, when I go somewhere, I go a week. Sure. I unpack that day. I'm going to get it all in. I don't want to spend my time carrying luggage back and forth.
So how? I don't even know how many rooms are in this hotel, but let's.
Oh yeah.
And how many guests handle?
He was on the 32nd floor, so it was a lot of rooms.
This is going to sound sexist, but this is, generally what you see in the movies. It's one woman that's there for a weekend and has
40
Louis Vuitton things.
That's right.
The bellhop's having to carry up for
That's right.
And while she's carrying her, miniature poodle.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, I mean, it's like, some of it's personal. You don't ask, what all do you have in here?
Okay. And then you have to put in that this person was known to casino people. He was a gambler. He was a high roller.
Yeah,
he had money.
He
had stayed at many of these places before. Probably thought of it as a good patron in a way because
it's like, let's put him in the suite.
Correct, right? Someone even mentioned that sometimes high rollers like this are even comped some of their suites.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not saying this was the case here, but
well, no, he from what I understand, again, all of this is ongoing.
Right, absolutely.
So information can change.
Absolutely.
But from my understanding is that, no, he paid for this. This is on his credit card.
He
correct. Booked it for multiple days.
That's correct. I have heard that too.
But yeah, I mean, would, like, I don't know, would that be out of the ordinary? Somebody, I mean, are you really paying attention to that?
I don't know. That's my question. I really don't know. I mean, I think that we could ask all these questions, but the point is, okay. And then the second part, what technology would we come up with to say? I mean, now we know what's going on. Now we've seen what's happened, but nobody noticed him. Nobody said that's odd. Nobody said, but as you said,
and he was being watched.
And the plenty of cameras.
Yeah. So this is where I've done physical security in the past that dealt with surveillance.
Right.
And this is where you have to have there's a lot of psychology just in the way the person carries themselves, the way they look around. Of course, again, this is a different situation than what I did, but a lot of body language tells.
Sure.
And this is where, you could come up with some AI that could tell this stuff, and in the information security field that I'm in, there's so much AI that can be done to give you this information.
Right.
But somebody has to analyze that information and turn it into intelligence.
Absolutely right.
So yeah, I mean, maybe you could come up with some software that said, hey, this person is exhibiting, which I could go back to something we said about the show about the new camera software and Google's like, we used AI on over 1 million photos.
Right.
And I was just kind of like, that's it?
That's
just a million photos?
Well, that's all it took, apparently.
Maybe. But I feel like, but that's part of what AI is. The more information you give it, the better it gets.
Right.
So yeah, I could see coming up with some technology that uses AI to analyze.
But this would only really be
to say, hey, check this person out.
Yeah, but this would only really be for people that may have already been known. I mean, you're not.
No. I'm not saying known. I'm not saying do.
Yeah, but what would you
do? They fit? Does this facial? Are they in a database somewhere?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Does their current actions raise suspicion?
Yeah, but what action?
Well,
carrying in luggage.
No,
to a hotel.
That's what I'm saying. Body language. It's very minute things.
Yeah. Okay. You did say that.
It is almost. There's.
But in Las Vegas. I mean, I've never been.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty of weird people.
That's what I'm getting at. How would you?
And probably plenty of them are either inebriated or under some other influence.
Correct. Right. You've got that.
And I mean, that's probably, you could probably still run software that they could say, hey,
they're inebriated.
This person is a 6 out of 10 risk.
Right. Yeah.
And once you decide, based on that risk, evaluation, okay, well, anything this software that says is a 7 to a 10 risk, we're going to pay more attention to that person. So I'm totally patenting this right now as I speak, so don't anybody go out. I actually
think some of this is already out there in a way.
So yeah, there are predictors out there. What is the name of that company? It starts with a P.
Predictor.
No.
Apple named it.
But they do they kind of do.
Sorry, crack myself off. Apple named it. It's Predictor.
And I know the LAPD uses it. A lot of really large police departments use it, but it is they use historical data to kind of predict where crime is going to be, and they go ahead and send patrol out there to deter it. And then they also have, multiple microphones set up around, and it can tell, hey, this was a gunshot.
Right.
And
yeah,
based on all the microphones, they can tell.
Sure.
They can triangulate, this is the area it came from. Let's get somebody there quick. But, it can also say normally crime happens around this time, or, certain events are going on. Like, they've got that stuff, but you've got to put that into surveillance. And I mean, casinos are covered up with cameras.
Correct.
On the floor.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in the rooms.
Yeah, for halls. Security part. They're just like you said.
Again,
you said it right.
That's where their assets are.
Right.
They're not worried about what goes on up there, and they shouldn't be.
They're not looking over the buffet.
Let's be honest. Part of that is Vegas.
Yes.
They're not worried about what goes on.
Yeah, that is true. That is their slogan, right?
Yeah, I mean that is. And I mean, you would kind of, yes, you do want a certain amount of privacy anyway. On the hallway. You don't want, you don't want to be followed all the way to your room.
No,
and then have to worry.
I agree. I mean, I can see that.
Yeah. So,
but it looks like he had to come through the lobby area. You would think
he came through the lobby, and he went up the elevator because he was on the
32nd.
Yeah, floor. I mean, he didn't walk up.
My brother has stayed in this place before years ago.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact.
A guy I work with stayed on the same floor.
Oh wow.
He obviously didn't stay in the suite because he'd been like, I stayed in that suite.
Sure,
but he was like, I stayed on that floor.
Gracious
I want to say it was last year.
Yeah.
And but I mean, it is a huge hotel.
Oh yeah.
So I again, that's not what their focus is. That's not what that is not what their security is there for.
Right.
So yeah, that's why it was missed. Like, and you shouldn't fault them for that. They were doing their job. Should their job be to watch out for that? No, it shouldn't.
Oh, the Guru stayed on the 33rd floor.
Yeah.
Back in 2012, apparently. Guru is a patron of yeah, that's right. You one-upped them, Guru.
Yeah. But so yeah, I mean, it's I don't. You have to analyze risk, right? Because another thing they're saying with this outdoor venue, there's plenty of security there, but they didn't take into consideration someone raining fire.
No, I agree.
Them.
It's not something you think that's going to happen.
Well, no, in certain situations. Well, in certain situations, if you're the Secret Service, you're planning for that.
Yeah, well, but
it's a concert. Like, what is the risk there? It's very minimal. Like, we don't need to make that investment. We don't need to make those trade-offs to protect against that, because the likelihood of it having, let's be honest, how many outdoor venue
that is a good point. I mean, this is one of thousands.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. Is like it's with the fear of flying.
Yes, that's true.
It's safer than driving.
I agree.
Look at statistics.
Yes, no question about it.
So yes, it is an unfortunate thing that happened. Should in the future they consider this? No, I honestly think no. Like, no, don't. I mean, yeah,
I really don't.
It could happen.
Yeah, I just don't think.
The building could have imploded, and they all
absolutely. I mean, you could have an earthquake there, and everything go under.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen.
Yes.
We're not comparing these. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
I'm just saying
different tragedies, but
we're looking at risk-based analysis.
Correct. Right.
And the risk was almost none.
Yeah, because you don't know. There would be no way to predict this.
Yes.
To assume that would happen.
Yeah. And I mean, yes, you could say you could have that on a list in which I'm sure the Secret Service, if the president was going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to protect against that because of their asset, right?
Yes, right.
That's what we've got to protect. They would hate being there.
Yeah, right.
But you can bet they would have every bit of it covered.
Right.
But he's a target. Is a crowd of people a target? A whole
lot.
Not normally. Right. So,
but
go ahead.
But you're also dealing with something that's not normal.
Yes,
I know I'm not saying anything that's gravity shattering here, but I'm just saying that in these type cases, you don't go to this saying, we're going to get shot up tonight.
Yeah,
you don't ever. Normal people don't think that way.
Well, yeah.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't. I mean, you don't look. Do you go? Now, this is not a real good comparison, but it's sort of in the same vein. You do now. Most people at night are concerned about they might get mugged at a convenience store pumping gas.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that goes through somebody's head. So I there are certain places where you do weigh risk that you think about. Because I've decided not to go to an ATM one time late at night. I said, well, I'll just do that in the morning. It's not it's not worth it.
Risk.
Right.
And plus too, and this is just a personal thing, and it's not like, I'm trying to be this what's the word I'm thinking? I'm not trying to be like super militant or anything, but I always know where the exits are.
Yeah.
And
I do that too sometimes.
Yeah. And I don't, that's just the mindset I'm in. It's not if this place were to get shot up, it's more of a safety thing. Like, if this place were to burn, where's
catch on fire, right?
Or if there was mass panic, where would I go? Or just if I needed to get out of here, where would I go?
Yeah.
Would I go back the same way I came in? Does that make sense? Is there something closer? Like, those are just immediately,
especially if it's somewhere you've never been before.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
Definitely. I mean, that's the first thing.
And that's the thing too, is if especially if you're driving in a place you've never been before.
Yes.
I will avoid, for example, not too long ago, I had to go to an area of town that I was not familiar with. They had recently completely redid the road, and I came through that way, and I was like, where am I? Like, because I grew up in this area, and I was like, this is totally different than like what I expected. Like, I don't feel comfortable driving here because I'm so used to it being a certain way.
Right.
And I was like, my brain would kind of like, if you're from this area and you know where the Anniston Star is, and you're
Yes.
old enough to remember
how
that
it
there
used
was
to be.
always green arrow lights there.
Right.
And I remember that before, like they changed that.
Right.
I don't even think I was driving yet when they changed that. But when I started driving, I had a hard time making sure I stopped because still in my brain I saw just the green arrows to go.
Right.
And it's actually in that same area kind of that I'm talking about. Whenever I left, I went the long way around to go where I was familiar. Oh, wow. So we got rumors.
I got a couple of them. They're
Just a
sort of
couple.
off the beaten path. So you can kind of give your, they're not, one of them's odd and one of them is tech related, but one of them's probably off the beaten path of tech. But I thought it was interesting. So I'm covering it.
Okay. It's not like I can stop you.
No, right. Well, you could, I guess.
I mean, I guess good.
Did you know, Bruce, the CIA officials have predicted North Korea provocation on Columbus Day?
No.
Yes, apparently so. Now, I don't know how accurate this is. I can't. It's usnews.com. But apparently some top CIA officials for the Korean Peninsula has warned Wednesday that the U.S. should be ready for new provocation by North Korea on Columbus Day. They're saying this coincides with the anniversary of the founding of the political party that governs there.
You know, one of the things that, since this is technology show, that just blows my mind is that everybody's afraid of a high altitude EMP.
Yeah. And we haven't covered much of EMP on here to a great extent.
We have not. And I would think our military is far more prepared for that than what we're giving them credit for. I think they would be the one affected by the EMP, not us.
Yeah.
It would launch and then we would say boom.
Yeah.
You know, we would cut it off.
I got what you're saying.
Well,
right.
You just blew everything yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I actually have thought about it before of what would happen really to our electronically connected, obsessed society. What would happen to us if one did go off in a major area over the United States? It's as unlikely as it is.
I could tell you, but I can't.
Oh, okay.
I really can't. I mean, that's one of those things that I can't.
No, I got it. But I think a lot of things wouldn't work.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like your phone wouldn't.
I think a lot of things wouldn't work. And I think there were some things that would work that we'd be surprised about. I think that it's not. Oh, yeah. It's not foolproof.
I agree with you.
It may not. For instance, this is the kind of thing that they know how it's supposed to work.
Yes.
But when you talk about it actually happening in reality, so many things would have to happen. And depending on the right scenario, how high it was up, how low it can, there's a lot of ifs.
Yes.
Even though the people have studied it
but they can't study exactly that.
Correct. They know what it's supposed to do.
Theoretically, this is what
is what should happen. So
it could be nothing happens.
Yeah.
It could be 10 times worse
than what we thought.
Would happen. Oh, everything just burnt.
Yeah.
So.
Right. So yeah. So anyway, that's that. And then I've got this little thing that I've been arguing back and forth with some friends of mine. Not arguing. We were going back. We were discussing, debating. There is a new opinion, I guess I should say, that there's some analysts and execs, they say Microsoft might kill off the Surface line in 2019.
Like this Surface line?
I'm thinking what they're referring to is the non-pro, non-book, non-laptop. The first Surface, like I think the one I have, the Surface. That's what I took it.
Oh, just
the Surface with the kickstand.
Yeah. I'll say this. The kickstand doesn't make any sense. They need to redesign that.
Well, I think the one that moves better, the Pro does, because it's more it's a better movement. Now the one I've got, it's like clicks.
Yeah,
and it's okay. I think the one Guru has too. The one he uses for the show is the click one. Yeah, I think it's not the Pro.
Yeah,
and it's a lot less money.
Yeah, But it makes sense for what he's using.
Yeah, right. And me too. I mean, for what I use it for at church, it makes complete sense.
To me, it's the equivalent of an iPad.
Yeah, but it has an OS. I mean, we don't have to get into that, but it has an OS on it.
How is it dollar for dollar? Is it comparative dollar for dollar? Or would you be more iPad Pro in that sense to compare with a Surface? How much is the Surface?
A regular like the one, well, the low end one was like $499.
So an iPad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, you can get an iPad for less than that, but anyway.
Of that size.
Well, no, yeah, the Pro would be more. If you got an iPad Pro, I think it starts off at $799. $599 or $799. I can't remember exactly which one it is.
Somebody's yelling at you.
Oh, I'm sure they are. They're probably yelling through the radio.
Yeah.
But at any rate, it doesn't matter. It's in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't know that they would be comparable. I will say that I'm going to step on a limb, and the guru would say that he wouldn't compare them because one is a tablet and one has a full OS. I'm pretty sure that's what the guru would say. He wouldn't compare them maybe in the size you could compare them.
The iPad Pro 10.5 is $649.
Okay.
12.9 is $799.
Okay, so I was close. I was in the neighborhood.
You would compare the 12.9, right? Because that's how big the Surface is.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of that. Yeah, but still, I just don't. Here again, we've had this discussion.
Whatever does the job.
I know,
right?
I got it, but I just don't see how you can compare a tablet that uses apps unless it has the app you need. And see, this is where we're getting to. If that device absolutely has the app you need, then there you go.
Do they even sell the Surface anymore? All I see is the Surface Pro, Surface Laptop, Surface Book, and Surface Studio.
Yeah. They might. I don't know.
Maybe they already killed it off, or maybe
I'm misunderstanding the whole thing, and maybe they're talking about the entire line. But I do know that they've had a drop in price. Not drop in price, drop in sales year over year, is my understanding. Hey, Techies Show, be right back. Welcome back into the Hey Techies Show. This is the night of Bruce's favorites.
Yeah, man.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well,
but
no, I've liked all these songs.
Some of his favorites.
I have liked all these songs. I've probably listened to most of them this week. The only one that I will say I haven't listened to in a while was the Better Than Ezra. Like, I haven't listened to them in a while. Kind of forgot about them, to be honest.
Better Than Ezra.
Yeah,
well, got to get back. Well, at this time, every week, Guru usually does This Week in Tech History. However,
I usually forget.
However, he has not done so last week. And,
in the last 2 weeks, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't. Well, anyway.
Why?
Well, anyway,
See,
that's not it. That's not
this the whole point to throw me off?
I don't know. I wondered about that too. Well, I thought I would throw one together real quick.
Okay.
So this is maybe tough. I don't know. I do know that this did come up on I always forget this thing, and I read it. I did see this pop up on Reddit. So it's
I always forget this website.
Well, I know I
Just
do. I'm
one of the
sorry. I
most visited
apologize.
sites
I know
on the
I know.
internet.
I know. Oh well. So all right, I'll do like Guru did. So this is time for This Week in Tech History, and Bruce always tries to guess the date. What happened on this particular date?
You give me a date.
I know I'm getting there.
Okay.
I give a date, and Bruce tries to guess what happened tech-wise on this particular date. Now, I'm not going to be able to live up to Guru, but I'll get close.
We need like one of
and
our,
I have no sound effects. So
yeah, we just have to say yay.
Yeah, right.
Which is going to be an
No, I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to see. I do have the date. Okay, so
I hope you do.
Well, I was reading the article. I was beginning to wonder if I had the date. October 5th.
Okay.
1992.
Ooh, 92. That's a tough one. Oh, we don't have the music either.
I know. I'm sorry. Dun, 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 dun,
92.
dun, 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 dun. Yeah, copyrighted music, by the way. Dun, 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 dun.
You're distracting me.
Dun.
1992. Man, this is really hard. See, so while I'm thinking of this, let me give you some of my thought process.
Okay.
I can't see that.
So what is that mirror doing behind?
Zoom in.
Why is that mirror doing behind?
Enhance. I really can't see that.
I know. I'm just joking.
But with Guru, I always have to know. Okay, is it space related? What happened in space? Which some stuff happened in space, but not in 92. I don't think. Then I have to think. Okay, what is it in Apple?
Yeah, for sure.
And then I have to think. What is he trying to throw on me?
Right.
Is it plane related?
I
have to go, but so now with you, I have no clue.
Well, I picked out of the hat. I really did just pick out of the hat. I didn't, and we've actually might have covered this before, and I don't remember.
92, October 5th.
October 5th, 1992.
92 would have been something with the internet.
No. Yeah, well, maybe.
Ooh, that's today.
Yes. It was 25 years ago today.
This is a tough one. It's not a search engine.
No. I can go with the
That was like a week ago. I want to say it wasn't Alta Vista. What was the one before that? Anyways. Golly, this is hard. I don't know.
What? You're not even gonna take a stab?
Well, the stab is I got to figure out what angle you're coming from. See, I kind of got Guru figured out on his angles.
Oh yes, really? Well, that's what he's concerned about. I think.
Well, that I've got him figured out. I think
that's what he's concerned about.
All he's got to do is throw in something with a plane every once in a while, and I'm just like, I don't know. So with you. It could be radio related.
I'm going to do what Guru says. I got to have an answer, Bruce. Need an answer.
Okay. Hold on. No, I actually heard this on a podcast today.
Here we go.
I heard this on a podcast today. And I thought about this because it was on, what is the name of the podcast I listened to? Hold on. I got to look at the name of the podcast.
Things you should know.
No, it's not Stuff You Should Know.
Stuff You Should Know. Sorry.
It is, and I thought, I need to remember that for tonight. It is daily. I didn't even have to pull it up. The Daily Tech Headlines.
There you go. Daily Tech Headlines.
In 1992,
yes,
IBM came out with the ThinkPad.
Ah, good job, Bruce! Yeah. Yay, golf clap.
I had to really pull that one out.
That's right. In 1992, the ThinkPad was born.
Do they even own the ThinkPad line anymore?
No, Lenovo continues to produce it.
Yeah.
Man. Had the little bitty pink eraser, or red eraser.
You know, I really liked those.
Lots of people
hurt
said,
my finger after several hours, but I felt like I could do more. Like I didn't have to move as much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's right.
Did the first ThinkPad have that?
Well, it shows a picture that it did. Man, that thing was a big brick.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a big
But
block.
I will say this. They were the
it had. And it had a floppy drive on the front of it. The very front of the up here towards the front was a floppy drive. According to the pictures I've seen.
Maybe let's see.
Yeah, it did right
yeah,
here.
Maybe it did.
Actually, and then there was one
Windows
with
for work
then there was a
groups.
one with a CD.
Yeah.
Reader.
They had on the front.
On the front you could
I don't know if they came out with the one, but where the keyboard popped up.
Yeah, they did. The keyboard popped out, had a bigger keyboard that popped out. Now that was a later one, I think. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So thank you, Daily Tech Headlines.
There you go. Daily Tech Headlines.
Yeah, I do remember that. Make sure I'm getting Daily Tech Headlines.
Make sure he's not.
I listen to too many. So yeah, man, they helped me out.
Well, there you go.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it very much. Yes, sir. No problem. Anytime, Bruce.
What?
Anytime we can do this for you.
Yeah, man.
Just any old time.
I would like one of our dedicated listeners to go through and see where I'm at on this score. Whether I'm
you're way up. You're way up.
There's no way.
You're way up. Oh, there's.
I know we talked about it before the show, but did we talk about the Russian hackers stole NSA
go ahead.
data?
What do you know about it?
Well, again, like we said with other stories, I feel like we should say this a lot with anything that's late breaking.
Yes.
This is still an ongoing story.
That's
so
right.
Some of this information may not be accurate. And I think that is a very responsible thing to do.
Right. That's correct. Yeah, I agree with that.
So, as the story goes, how they got this was basically an NSA worker had stuff at home on a home laptop that contained a lot of secrets, and had Kaspersky AV installed.
Right.
Now the thing is this, and so they got tons of information by using Kaspersky. So the thing is, did Kaspersky do this, or were they circumvented? Because was it Avast that was just recently infiltrated? So it's a whole supply chain thing there, right? So again, it's kind of hard since Kaspersky is Russian based,
right?
And it went to Russia to say you had a hand in this. It's hard, and it looks bad on them. Say, well, we didn't do this, and they could totally be telling the truth of like, really, we did not know. We are a private company. Yes, because we are a Russian-based business, anything that the government asks for, we have to give. But that doesn't mean we have to go get it. It's not like we have to pull that data.
Right.
So did, was this person specifically targeted, or this group of people? I will say, if you are an executive, if you are in any type of administrative role when it comes to technology, if you have, I'm talking about from help desk, because help desk has a whole lot more access to stuff than you realize.
That's true. Anywhere
you go, even here, help desk all the way to, anybody in IT, you're being targeted.
Right.
And recently, well, I won't say recently, over the past few years, but I know of recent, there's another campaign from Russia to harvest as much data on LinkedIn as possible. And I don't have to worry about those things. Very simple.
Yeah.
Because there was questions being asked in some of my circles of like, hey, did you get this? Like, I'm starting to get a lot of requests from Russian based technology people, because it's this whole community, like, we got to interact. No, we don't.
Right.
We don't. Like, we can interact, but we can interact face to face. So I my thing was like, there was like, anybody else gets this? Like, well, I sure didn't, because I don't have LinkedIn, I don't have Facebook, I don't have any of that.
Yeah, I don't have LinkedIn anymore.
Yeah.
I never really used the thing, but anyway. Russian hackers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you know, part of the first thing of anybody that's hacking is intel gathering, right?
Right.
So I hate to say this, but I mean, we're at war.
Yeah.
We are at war.
Yeah.
It is, and it's not something that's recently happened. This has been happening for years.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Cold War went to sleep.
Uh-huh.
And as technology grew, it said, "Hey, it's time to wake up."
Yeah.
And we can have another Cold War. Like
it's possible, sure.
It's not possible. It's what's happening.
Yeah.
There's only so many things I will go out on a limb and say, because I can't divulge too much information on some things.
Yeah. Super secret.
Yeah, super secret. But I will say that. I mean, you can just, from what's happening, you can discern that.
Right.
So that's not letting any state secrets out.
It's not,
No.
Oh my goodness. Not. I did not stop Mr. Jazzler. I must have hit a button. Shocking, right?
Yeah.
Shocking that I hit it, that I hit a button. My goodness. Well, we appreciate all of you very much.
Oh man,
it's getting there. It's getting there. We kind of
did not realize. I was like,
yeah, man. I
was like, are we gonna go to break?
We've about worn it out actually.
Yeah. Well, and, one quick story.
Yeah.
That I've seen in the headlines about the Tesla Model 3 production being about 85% lower than what Elon promised. And I'm not saying I disagree with those statistics, but let's also realize that there's a ramp up period, and they are in that ramp up period. But you know, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, they're definitely short. On, you know, they produced a fraction of what it was, but you know, you get those kinks worked out and get them all ironed up, and then you start producing. So sure hope they do get that production up. I think it's important for the industry. I think it's important for availability, because I'd kind of like one. If it fits my lifestyle, that's the thing. It's got to fit my lifestyle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Well, we appreciate all our listeners.
Always.
Yes, always.
And we appreciate the guru. And
yes, we do.
Hope he comes back sooner than later, because he would take care of all this and Mikey would not be messing.
Hey, Techies Show. See you next week.